All right. And we are live. Live over at Aspire Sports. Audits. All right. So, answering your fantasy football questions. Let's get it, dudes. I have obviously BetUS pulled up here. So, should I trade Kamara, Fant, and Cooper for Kelsey and Saquon? No, I wouldn't do that. I would keep Kamara and I would keep Kamara and Cooper personally. Well, actually, that's Amari Cooper, right? I was thinking of Cooper Kupp. So if that's Amari Cooper, then yeah, I would probably do that trade. Yo, dudes. Yo, sorry I haven't been here the last few days. Just started working. Oh, you're good, Optimized. No worries. Yo, what's up, Ozai? Oh wow, you're live. Yeah, live always. Always live. Dudes. Yes, Amari. I would do that trade, yes. I'd do that trade. What up? I lost because Zach Moss couldn't get. Yeah, Zach Moss was quite the disappointment. What's up, TX? Should I start Hunter Henry this week? It depends on your other options. Feel good about Dearness Johnson this week? No, not really, to be honest with you. I don't feel good about it. I won by 0.6 because hey, at least you won. Okay, at least you won. And there should have been a touchdown for Dawson Knox. Brandon Cooks, a cheap trade target? Absolutely. Absolutely, if you're able to get him. Lamar or Aaron? Lamar. Yo, what up, Uzi? Should I pick up the Browns running back or Elijah Mitchell? Absolutely, Elijah Mitchell. Elijah Mitchell. If you want a good trade target, go out and get Elijah Mitchell. Last chance on Elijah Mitchell this week. Last chance. Already had his bye week. He's going to be the starting running back. Probably even till, I would even say once Jeff Wilson comes back, which is now late November. It keeps getting later and later. You want Elijah Mitchell on your team. I just traded Justin Herbert for James Robinson. I have Rodgers. Love it. I have Henry, Cook, Alexander, Madison, Elijah Mitchell. Do I drop Madison? Well, who are you picking up, RJ? Sell on D-Hop? No, I wouldn't. Keep or trade Gibson. I would try to trade him. I would absolutely try to trade Antonio Gibson now. Good to see you. What up, Mark? Would you trade Aaron Jones for Kamara? Jones has an easier schedule. I mean, I think it's pretty fair. I just think it comes down to whoever you like more. So, I mean, me personally, I guess I like Kamara a little bit more, but really, I think that it's really close, and it comes down to whoever you personally like more. Ozai, will Khalil Herbert get reduced touches this week? Probably. I'd imagine that you're probably going to have Damian Williams involved a little bit more, but I said this last week. Khalil Herbert looked good in that game that I watched him, and he looked good against Green Bay. I think he's honestly not a bad football player. And I'm going to say this, and people probably aren't going to really like it, but I honestly think he looks better than David Montgomery. David Montgomery is, I'm sure I'm overreacting a little bit, but David Montgomery is really not that good of an athlete. If you look at his workout metrics, they're actually trash. They're awful. I think he honestly looks like a better running back than David Montgomery. Yeah, I said it. What should I do with Tony? He looks like he's probably going to be out at least a week. I'd say a couple. Do I trade Cook for CEH, Mike Thomas, and I probably wouldn't do that, Mike. Herbert or Williams? Williams. If I don't feel confident about starting Herbert this week, just because they play Tampa Bay, and with Damian Williams coming back, it's gonna be weird. Well, unless that's Damian Williams, maybe that is Damian Williams. So I'd rather go Herbert over Damian Williams. Should I start Henry Ruggs this week? Depends on your other options. I traded Patterson for Waller. I think that's solid. Damian. Okay, so that is Damian. I'd rather go with Herbert. Any Ravens RBs worth picking up? I mean, I would say Devante Freeman would be the next guy. Guys, you've seen my videos the past couple of days. Running back is absolutely, this week in general is just brutal. Okay, if you have teams on bye, if you have players on bye, and you have guys that are hurt, guys, you just need. There's a guy in my league that literally is starting Jawan Johnson this week. I'd imagine he's probably going to pick up somebody a little bit better, but that's how bad it is this week. Okay, a lot of teams are really struggling, and that's why I say you need to really target Rashad Penny. And a lot of people are already saying, why would you target Rashad Penny? He's trash. He's hurt. Well, That's how bad we are right now. That's how bad it has gotten right now. Already, we're at week 7, and it's already so bad this week. It's awful. Tua Ryan, Tua. Julio Jones, hold or drop. I think I wouldn't drop him, but I mean, Julio Jones, I don't really like him a whole lot. I think Miles Sanders is a great buy low. I think Miles Sanders is a great buy low as well. I mean, that at the end of the game, it should have showed Nick Sirianni, hey, we need to give Miles Sanders the football. Miles Sanders is I wouldn't say top-tier athlete, but a borderline top-tier athlete and a good football player. You get your best football players the ball. It's not that complicated. But sometimes coaches I say it all the time, coaches like to overthink it. And getting Miles Sanders the football would be beneficial to your football team. Pick up Freeman or Bell. Oh, gosh. I would say Freeman personally. McKissick or Gaskin. So I would personally go with McKissick this week. I traded Joe Mixon and Shepard for James Robinson, and really then I traded those two for Najee. I think that's solid. Should I trade Woods for Kittle? I would probably, yeah. If you need a tight end, I would want Kittle, yeah. McKissick or Dearness. In PPR, I would go McKissick. McKissick or Gaskin, McKissick. And if I haven't answered your questions, just feel free to ask them. But real quick, I'm going to say this. If you haven't already, do me a big favor, smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. If you're over on TikTok, come on over to YouTube. It's not as busy. Get your questions answered. All you got to do is go to my profile, and my profile will be the link tree. Link tree will take you over to the YouTube channel. About it. I mean, it's going to stick up no matter what. I don't care. Ernest Johnson, Elijah Mitchell, or McKissick? Elijah Mitchell for me. Should I pick up the Ernest Johnson and start over Herbert or Williams? Yeah, I would personally do that. I would start him over both of them. That's Damien. Yeah, that's D. Williams. So I'm assuming Damian Williams. I traded Devante for Miles Sanders. I think that's solid. Should I pick up Odell on my waivers? And I traded Pitts for Kittle. I'm using Gesicki until that's solid. So I mean, it would depend on who you're dropping, Uzi. But yeah, I mean, I think I would definitely pick him up. Alex Collins or Sterling Shepard? Sterling Shepard for me. I like Sterling Shepard this week. I'm very stacked on running back. Got too many. If you had to choose, which two would you trade out of? Eckler, Najee, Swift? Oh my gosh, you are stacked. I would try to trade like. I mean, really, they're all like. I guess Swift. Well, I think Swift probably has the lowest value because not everybody's sold on Swift. I would try to trade like Eckler, Najee, or Kamara because I believe that you could just get the most bang for your buck for those guys. Where the other ones you're probably going to be underselling a little bit. Gaskin or Devante Booker this week. Who do I have ranked higher? I got to look at that real quick. Where's my running back rankings? There it is. I have Devante Booker one spot higher. Stuck with Keenan Allen, OBJ, and Tyler Lockett at receiver. Can I get some good waiver wire ads for a wide receiver? I mean, I'm just rolling with those guys. I don't think that there's anybody that's optimized personally. There's nobody out there that's good enough to play over those guys. Dearness Johnson or Gibson? If Gibson plays, I'm going with Gibson. Drop Tony or Allen Robinson? I would drop Tony. I think he's going to be out for a couple weeks. Gronk or Hawkinson? For me, Hawkinson. Cox or Uzama? I would go with Cox. Mo Alley Cox. Drop Knox for Chuba Hubbard. I have Waller. Thanks, man. I would do that, I guess. Yeah, I would do that. For flex, I start Dearness Johnson, Khalil Herbert, Javonte Williams, or Bateman. Out of all those guys, I have Javonte Williams the highest. Should I start DJ Moore? I would. Thoughts on Daryl Williams as a flex option this week? I absolutely love Darrell Williams this week. Darrell Williams is a top 10 running back for me this week. Yes. Fire him up. Have CMC, Michael Thomas, and Kittle on IR now? Yeah, I mean, it's getting brutal. With this short-term IR, it's pretty tough. Like, I feel like teams are more inclined to put these players on IR. So you're seeing the IR spots definitely fill up. Should I start DJ Moore? Absolutely. I mean, I believe he's the top 5 wide receiver for me this week. No, he's borderline. He's 6 for me currently in my rankings. I traded Eckler and Thielen for Kamara and Jefferson. I think that's a really good trade for you. I have 2 wide receivers on bye. I'm going to start Brandon Cooks and Tyler Lockett. Is that bad or should I? No, I think that's okay. Jalen Waddle, Devontae Parker, time to cut Tyler Boyd. I mean, it depends on who you're dropping him for, but I like out of those two, I would personally go with Jalen Waddle. But I do like Devante Parker this week. James Robinson and Allen Robinson for CMC. I have Cook as my RB1. I personally, I guess no, I honestly wouldn't do that. I would just keep Ryan James Robinson. Need a streamer this week. Carolina versus Philadelphia. Wait, Carr versus Philadelphia. Or Darnold versus the Giants. For me, Derek Carr. Damian Harris or Dearness Johnson this week. Damian Harris. Brady or Mahomes. Mahomes is QB1 for me this week. Mahomes. Trade Keenan and Beasley for Fournette. Yes, I would do that. Do I keep McLaurin and Woods or trade for a wide receiver? I have Najee. No, I would keep those guys. Your running backs are stacked, so just keep those guys. Bateman or Odell? I need to check this. So, honestly, let me double check. Wide receiver rankings. I honestly don't even know if I do have Odell ranked. Odell's just a little bit higher than Bateman, really, because no, I have Bateman actually higher. I have Bateman higher than Odell this week. Just because you have Baker already hurt, really hurt. I mean, they said that didn't they say like his muscle ripped off the bone and he's going to try to play this week? I mean, absolutely, that's brutal for really. Cleveland is in rough shape right now. They could really use a bye. So I don't feel good about Odell at all this week. And it's a tough matchup. Herbert bye week, Matt Ryan or Winston. For me, I have Matt Ryan higher. What about James Robinson and Mike Williams for CMC? And I still want to do that. Well, unless you're getting James Robinson side. I want the James Robinson side. Dearness Johnson, Booker, or Darrell Williams? Darrell Williams for me. Jameis or Matt Ryan? I don't know if Michael Thomas is going to be back this week, but I would go with Matt Ryan. I would still go with Michael Thomas. How much football do you watch on game day? Just curious. Literally, that's what I do all day. That's all I do all day. This past weekend, I felt like a piece of garbage because I woke up at 8 o'clock, immediately got on and streamed. Well, I woke up at like 7:30. But then I immediately got on and streamed. And really, then I did my waiver wire video. I really didn't leave my computer chair other than to like walk around and give some food and stuff like that for a little bit till like honestly midnight, till the Steelers game was over. Like literally, that was my day on Sunday. That's what I put a lot of time and effort into what I do, and that's what my days are, honestly. Ozai, should I drop Khalil Herbert for Dearness Johnson? I need a good performance for my flex. Honestly, I wouldn't. I would just fire up Khalil Herbert over Dearness Johnson, honestly. So sad with Gibson's situation ruined his year. Yeah, I mean, it's not looking good for Antonio Gibson. Hopefully next year he comes back healthy. I mean, he's not out this. I really do envision them putting him at some point on IR and maybe even shutting him down for the season. The Washington football team looks absolutely terrible. I think at some point they just look at the long term of his career and say, we're going to shut him down. So what I would personally do is I would try to get Antonio Gibson off my hands as soon as possible. I would take Antonio Gibson and somebody else and try to trade them off of my team for somebody else. All right. Fant, Odell, or Gaskin for flex. For me, I want to go with Fant, Odell, or Gaskin. I would go with I would honestly go with Noah Fant there. Devante Parker, Rashad Bateman, Latavius Murray. I have Rashad Bateman the highest. Unless Latavius Murray plays, then I would probably play him. Mitchell or Pittman? Mitchell. At flex, Marquise or Debo? Debo. Tony or Tim Patrick off of waivers to start over Pittman, down bad on buys. I would go Pittman. Damian Harris over Darrell Williams. No, I would honestly go with Darrell Williams. Sterling Shepard, Hunter, or Henry Ruggs, or Bateman. Sterling Shepard for me. Stevenson or Michelle. I gotta look that up. That's where we're at this week. Let me see here. I want to say Sony Michelle, but I could be wrong. No, I do have Stevenson higher. I have Stevenson higher. Tua or Darnold? Tua. Start Fournette or Jonathan Taylor? Jonathan Taylor. Need one running back. Who should I target for Gibson? Plus guy on my badge. It's really hard because Gibson's banged up. So I would go for guys like, honestly, this may sound like a bad trade, but I really do think Antonio Gibson's going to get shut down at some point. I would be targeting guys like Chase Edmonds right now. I think managers are kind of getting tired of what's going on, especially with James Conner there, stealing goal line work. So I think he's a really good guy to try to target. Miles Sanders is another guy to really target right now. Elijah Mitchell's another guy. Those are guys that I would be trying to target for Antonio Gibson. And I think that there's a chance you could really trade Antonio Gibson for one of those guys straight up. I would try everything right now to get Antonio Gibson off my team. Mitchell, Higgins, Sterling Shepard, pick 2. I would go with Mitchell and Higgins. Saquon and Keenan Allen for Jonathan Taylor, Devontae Smith, and Kadarius Toney. Personally, I wouldn't do that, no. Did I win this trade? I traded Woods, Hunter Henry, and Edmonds for Zeke. Who won this trade? Zeke side. I like that side. Do I hold Lockett? Hard to trade him in my leagues. Or what should you got to hold him. I just think his value is way too low right now. You got to hold on to him. Who should I try to trade for? I need a running back. Or AB for. So I would target guys like, once again, like I said, I honestly think that you could probably do it straight up, probably even get a little bit more. Miles Sanders. I would try to trade for Miles Sanders, Chase Edmonds, and who's the Elijah Mitchell. You could probably even do Antonio Brown and get them and possibly even another piece right now, depending on the manager. Antonio Brown or Sterling Shepard. Antonio Brown. Got Herbert, Mike Will, and Eckler. Who should I try to trade? I mean, I would just keep them. Honestly, I would just keep them. Matt Ryan, Mac, or Teddy? Matt Ryan for me. Who should I try to trade AB for? I already got that one. Should I trade Tyreek and D-Hop for Devante and DK? Should I trade Tyreek and D-Hop? No, I wouldn't do that trade. No. Start 2, Elijah Mitchell, Devontae Booker, Khalil Herbert. I would go with Elijah Mitchell and Devontae Booker. Show our appreciation. Yeah, hit that like button if you haven't already. Man, my hair is messed up, huh? My hair is getting messed up because my hat. If you haven't already, do me a big favor. Smash that like button. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. If you're over on TikTok, come on over to YouTube. It's not as busy. Get your questions answered. All you got to do is go to my profile, go to the link tree. Link tree will take you over to my YouTube channel. And if you're doing some betting this weekend, Bet US. Sign up today. Deposit $50. Get $125 deposit match bonus. Down in the description, you also see Stream Elements talking about it. And if I'm not answering your questions, Super Chat is available. Also, you can sign up to be a member. There's different tiers. You unlock different things. You get into the Discord chat, answer your questions there as well. So sign up to be a member today down in the description, or look at Stream Elements. They talk about it as well in the chat. All right, get back to it. Should I start Mike Davis or Dearness Johnson? Mike Davis, okay? You want to hear Mike Davis? Mike Davis, for me, this is where we're at this week, okay? Mike Davis is a top 10 play at the running back position this week against Miami. Drop Tyson Williams for a kicker, need a kicker. I would, yeah, because you can hold out as long as possible. If Latavius Murray plays this week, then yeah, there's no need for Tyson Williams anymore. Antonio Brown or Sterling Shepard. For me, I would go with Sterling Shepard. Or no. I'm Antonio Brown. Do I sell D-Hops? No, I wouldn't sell D-Hops. I would keep him. Who do I get for Keenan Allen? I mean, it's really hard. I don't think his value is very high, so I think that it's just best to hold on to him right now. Thoughts on Michael Carter? Hey, this week I like Michael Carter because, once again, there's nobody to play at the running back position. So fire up Michael Carter, and I do like Michael Carter season long. I think that Michael Carter looks honestly good. I know that the stat lines aren't like eye-popping or anything like that, but for what he's giving to work with right now, I honestly think he looks like by far the best running back in this backfield. So he's somebody I like for the season, not a whole lot, but possibly next year if this team's able to get a little bit better, upgrade that offensive line a little bit. Zach Wilson can take a next step, but I do think that he's a solid talent. Khalil Herbert or Javonte Williams or Felton. I would go with Javonte Williams. Trade James Robinson for Nick Chubb, non-PPR. No, I would still go with James Robinson. Give me James Robinson. Booker or Herbert. Thanks, Tyler. Hey, appreciate you, Wyatt Williams, with the $2 donation. Appreciate you, brother. Honestly, I would go with Devontae Booker. I love Herbert, but with Damian Williams coming back, it's just going to complicate this running back situation, and I would go with Devontae Booker this week. Appreciate the $2 donation. And appreciate everybody hanging out. Thank you. All right. Is Keenan Allen for Ridley or Deontay Johnson a fair trade? Keenan Allen for Ridley or absolutely. If you're getting Ridley or Deontay Johnson, absolutely. Derek Carr, Mac Jones, or Winston. Me personally, I'm going with Derek Carr this week. Should I pick up Elijah Moore off waivers? What's your projections for him this week? Not very good, to be honest with you. If that's the only player that you have this week, is there nobody better? I mean, if there's nobody better, you got to pick him up. But I don't really like the Jets again this week. I do like the ground game more than the passing attack. Is Fitzpatrick back this week? I haven't seen anything on that. Who you're talking about? Fitzmagic, right? Shepard or Waddle? Waddle for me. Odell or Bateman? Bateman is higher. Should I try trading Antonio Gibson and or Amari Cooper? Absolutely try to get... Guys, if you haven't heard me say this already, you need to try to get rid of Antonio Gibson, in my opinion. I would absolutely try to get rid of him as soon as possible because news could break tomorrow that they are shutting him down for the season. Okay? News could break tomorrow. Washington sucks. Okay? They're horrible. The defense is horrible. They're not going to be any good this year. They're not going to make the playoffs. They're a bad team. Why risk Antonio Gibson having this stress fracture that's really not... You've already... if you guys haven't seen, go and follow Pro Fantasy Doc or the Pro Football Doc and Fantasy Doctors. They're saying the same thing, that he's probably going to get shut down at some point this year and might need surgery. So I'm absolutely trying to get rid of Antonio Gibson ASAP. Get rid of him ASAP. Drop Corey Davis for Callaway? No, I would just play Corey Davis this week personally. Dearness Johnson or JD McKissick, as long as it's PPR. Mike Williams and Scary Terry for Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. Yes, I would do that. I like the Tyreek side. Pick 2 running backs, 2 RBs, and a flex. Godwin, Evans, Henderson, Darrell Williams, Chase, or Mitchell. So I would go with Henderson, Darrell Williams, Chase, Godwin, and Mike Evans. So that's sitting Mitchell. I traded Aaron Jones and Allen Robinson for Eckler and Mooney. I think that's like a fair trade. I'm in trouble. Starting, who is that? Ertz? Is that who you're starting? Ertz? Or who's ER? Higgins or Sutton? Sutton. I like Sutton this week. Trade Hill for Eckler. Yeah, I would want Eckler. Stash Cowboys defense or get someone to play over Robinson. It depends on who else is available. Should I drop Knox for Goddard with not? Yes, I would pick up Goddard. Yes. Pick up Tua, Ryan, or Carr. For me, Carr. Thoughts on Jonathan Taylor? His production is amazing, but I'm concerned about his workload. Listen, if what's his face there? Geez, I can't even remember his name right now. Frank Wright, that's his name. Frank Wright. If he has a brain, okay? If Frank Wright has a brain in his head, which at times it seems very questionable, especially with his, protege Nick Sirianni, if these two guys have a brain, they would get their running backs involved because their running backs are the best player in their offenses, all right? Well, Miles Sanders, debatable. He's one of the best players on his offense. But Jonathan Taylor is easily the best player on that offense. So if Nick Sirianni and Frank Wright have a brain, they would get their players involved. So I think that they have a brain because they're coaching at that level, right? So I think I would hold on to them, absolutely, and just pray that their brain comes back and they grow it back or something, because those guys should be playing a lot and seeing a lot of work. So I would hold on to those guys. Zach Ertz or Tyler Higbee? I have Tyler Higbee one spot higher. J.D. McKissick or Mitchell? Mitchell for me. Should I trade Zach Moss for OBJ and Myles Gaskin? Yeah, I would do that for OBJ and Myles Gaskin if I'm getting that side. Yeah, I traded Patterson and Antonio Brown for Zeke. Yeah, that's a big old W. Daryl Henderson and Kamara for Aaron Jones and DJ Moore? Absolutely not. I want Darrell Henderson and Kamara side. I have Elijah and Gibson and Hawkinson. Wait, I have Elijah and Gibson and Hawkinson or Fant. Who do I start as my RB2 and tight end? So I would honestly go with Elijah Mitchell and I would go with Hawkinson. Should I trade? What is that? Should I trade Zach? Oh yeah, I already got that one. Start Miles Sanders or Devontae Booker. For me, I got to double check this. I want to say maybe. I do like Miles Sanders this week. I want to say Miles Sanders. Yes, Miles Sanders. I have Miles Sanders higher. Matt Ryan, Darnold, Heineke, or Carr this week? For me, Derek Carr. Thank you. Going to have a rough week with Wilson, Cook, Najee. Yeah, hey, listen. A lot of people are in the situation where it's really going to be a rough week for them. It's really going to be a rough week for a lot of people. It's brutal this week. Like I've said it a bunch. If you're a team that like there's a guy in my league that's literally projected. This is like a decently scoring league where usually you see teams coming in around like 130, 120 points per week. And usually projected like 115 is like kind of like the average, I would say. Low 100s is bad. There's a guy in my league that's literally projected 87 points this week because he has so many people already hurt. Chris Carson, David Montgomery, Zeke's on bye for him. He has Deontay Johnson on bye. So like there's so many players already hurt for this person and he has players on bye. He's screwed. Like he's screwed this week. It's tough. So if you're in that situation, hey, it's 1 week, it's 1 week out of, 17, 16 weeks, whatever, how many weeks your fantasy league goes for. So it's just 1 week. You'll be able to pick it back up. Chase Edmonds or Chuba Hubbard? I got to double check this. Let me see. I want to say Chuba Hubbard. Yes, Chuba Hubbard. I have him higher. Tua or Carr? Derek Carr. Start 2. Darrell Williams, A.J. Brown, Dearness Johnson. For me, Darrell Williams, A.J. Brown. Should I sell DK? I mean, I would try, but I think his value is too low. I don't think that you'll be able to get a solid enough trade for him, so I would just keep him. Mooney, Davis, Boyd, pick 1. Davis. I'm 3-3 with Clyde and CMC out. Sutton, Thielen, Mike Davis, A-Rob, and terrible RB depth. Trades CMC. I would try, yeah. Mike Gesicki and Daryl Williams for Mike Evans and Sanders. Yeah, I would do that trade. Should I trade Gesicki and Melvin Gordon for Deontay? If you don't need Gesicki, yeah, go for it. Who should I start? Rashad Penny or one of the Browns running backs? So I think that I can't. So what I would do is probably go with one of the Browns running backs, unless like if Thursday is going to be a big day. Okay, Thursday is like tomorrow. I wouldn't worry too much about the injury report, except for the Thursday night game. But Thursday we'll have a good idea before game time. Who's going to be playing this week? We'll have a decent idea. So we got to look at. Seattle's a big situation with Alex Collins that we got to keep an eye on. What happens with him? It looks like Rashad Penny is going to come back this week. And for all the people that think that DJ Dallas and Travis Homer is going to be a big part of the offense when Rashad Penny is back, to me, I just don't think so. I think this team has given every single chance for Rashad Penny to show them something because he's a former first-round draft pick, that they're going to give him an opportunity if Alex Collins is out. And I think that Rashad Penny, to me, honestly, I would rather have Rashad Penny over Dearness Johnson because I think next week, like, Chubb comes back. But with Rashad Penny, I honestly think that there's a chance that you don't see Chris Carson for the rest of the year. His neck problem could be a really bad situation. And like I said, if there's any sign of Rashad Penny showing this team somewhat of what they drafted him for as a first-round draft pick, I think that there's a real chance Rashad Penny could have value for the season long rather than just this week. Is Chubb out for a few weeks or longer? I think he's honestly going to be out this week, and then I think there's a chance he could play next week. The fact that they didn't put him on IR yet is a good sign. If I'm 2-4, do I still have a chance to make playoffs if I got Zeke and Swift, Ridley? Yeah, absolutely. Like if you're 2-4 right now, listen, bye weeks are crucial. Okay, you're gonna have a lot of teams that maybe they're doing really well right now are gonna lose some games during the bye week. bye weeks is when you start to see people's depths. When the true alpha teams will really start to emerge is during the bye week. You could probably have some teams right now that have just kind of barely gotten by with some wins, have low win totals right now, or their total points, but they're high up in the rankings. But during the bye week, that stuff's not going to fly. The teams that are good and they have good depth are going to be the teams that are going to get through the bye week. So absolutely, like if you're in a spot right now where you're 2-4, honestly, you're 1-5, like, but you've just gotten really unlucky, like you're scoring a lot of points. It will get better. Pick 2, Dearness Johnson, Chubb Hubbard, Patterson. So I would go with Patterson and Chuba Hubbard. Is Chris Carson droppable? I also have oh my gosh. Honestly, it depends on who you're picking up, Van, but I think he's borderline droppable. If you need somebody, yes. He wasn't really doing a whole lot when he was healthy because I just think that neck was a big injury. Should I pick up KJ Osborne and Dearness Johnson off of waivers? If you need the help, yeah. Who should I try to target in a trade for Gibson? I mean, it's really hard for me to say, but guys that I would try to be looking for are Miles Sanders, Chase Edmonds, and Elijah Mitchell. Those are 3 guys that I would really try to be targeting hard for Antonio Gibson. Start T. Higgins or Jamar Chase? For me, Jamar Chase. How do you feel about Sam Darnold this week? Should I look to trade my Waller if I pick up Ertz? Seems like a tough call. No one in Arizona consistent target, even D-Hop. So I like, who would you would be trading Waller for who? Like a quarterback? I would just fire up Sam Darnold this week. I do like him this week. Or who else is available in waivers? Start Renfro or Hilton this week? Renfro. Thoughts on Scary Terry? The Washington football team sucks. What wide receivers do you think I could get trade Brandon Cooks and Terry for? Honestly, I'm keeping Terry, or I would personally just keep both of them. I know that Terry, you could probably get the most for Terry because of his name. I would try to trade him, but like it's going to be hard to try to trade these guys right now. And if you haven't already, do me a big favor. Smash that like button. Hit subscribe. If you're over on TikTok, come on over to YouTube. It's not as busy. Get your questions answered over on YouTube. All you got to do is click on my profile. Go to my link tree. My link tree will take you over to my YouTube channel. So come on over, get your questions answered. And I appreciate everybody hanging out, being part of the stream. Means a lot. So let's keep going. Stop sleeping on A.J. Brown. Man's a beast. He is a beast. Absolutely. Should I trade DK and Terry for a great RB1? I mean, I would if you can. AB and Clyde for Ridley and Devante? Absolutely, if I'm getting Ridley and Devante. Should I trade Gibson and Lockett for Sanders and Ridley? Yes, I would do that. Tua, Tannehill, Wentz, or Carr? For me, I like Carr the most. Darrell Williams, Sutton, Elijah Mitchell, Pittman, Higgins, pick 1. Darrell Williams, Keenan Allen, and Cole Beasley for Fournette, a fair trade? Yes. Well, I mean, I would want the Fournette side. Should I trade Waller? I have Schultz. If you can get a really good piece, do it. Is Collins going to start this week? Well, we'll have to see. If he's healthy, I believe that he'll start over Rashad Penny, but I think Rashad Penny is going to be involved in this offense. Do I trade Damian Williams for Jarvis Landry? Yeah, I would do that. AB and Clyde for Ridley? Yes. Robert Woods or T. Higgins? T. Higgins for me. Darrell Williams, Sutton, Elijah Mitchell, Pittman, Higgins. I already got that one. Is Waller worth keeping or try to trade? I would keep him, but I mean, if you can get a really good trade, I would do that. Should I drop Khalil Herbert for McKissick or Penny? I would drop Khalil Herbert. I would drop him for McKissick because like I said, I think that at some point I would not be surprised if Antonio Gibson gets shut down for the season. And this defenses look trash. This offense is not very good. But especially the defense is awful. So I expect, them to have to throw the ball a lot. And J.D. McKissick is the preferred passing down option for this team. So I'd rather have J.D. McKissick for season long. Start Robert Woods or T. Higgins? T. Higgins. Thoughts on Knox for the rest of the year? Knox for me is going to be a player like tight ends, is an ugly situation, like an ugly position anyway. So, I mean, I still view him as like a top 12 tight end for the rest of the season, as long as he's healthy. Pick one for waivers. Callaway, Waddle, or Crowder? I would go with Waddle. Start Mike Evans or Jamar Chase? Jamar Chase for me. Do I trade Damian Williams for Jarvis Landry? Yes. Is Collins for Sanders a good trade? Yes, I would want Sanders' side, personally. Pick one for flex. Mitchell, Davis, Collins, Damian Williams. My other running backs are Henderson, Darrell Williams. So pick one, I would go with that's Davis. Mike Davis. I would go with Mike Davis. Let's see here. Follow me back on Twitter and I'll consider not eating ice cream in your freezer. All right, Optimize. I got you. Trade CMC. I mean, it depends on what you can get for him, but I certainly think that you could probably get a decent amount for him. So I mean, it's hard for me to really say, should you trade anybody? Like, who exactly you're getting? I don't know what your league settings are, you know, all that kind of stuff. I'm 1-5. Do I trade Kamara, and for who? I mean, I wouldn't try to trade Kamara, like, unless you're getting like 2 really, really good players in return. But if you're 1-5, like, I just wouldn't trade him for nothing. Should I do this? Should I do this? Get CMC and trade away Gibson and Claypool. I have Hubbard. Yeah, I would do that. I would do that trade. Rashad Bateman or KJ Osborne. Rashad Bateman for me. Cooper Kupp. Well, KJ Osborne's on bye, right? Unless you're saying for like just who to pick up season long. Rashad Bateman. Cooper Kupp or DJ Moore and Calvin Ridley. Oh, okay. Whoa. Cooper Kupp for DJ Moore and Calvin Ridley? Yes, I would want that. I would want DJ Moore and Calvin Ridley. Is Gaskin a good start this week? Have Cook out? I mean, a good start. He's somebody with a pulse. So, like, honestly, that's what you're looking for this week. This week is bad. He has a pulse. He's a top 20 running back for me this week because literally, like, who else are you going to play this week? So fire him up. Jacobs over Patterson? No, I'd rather have Patterson this week. I traded Joe Mixon, Gesicki, and Alex Collins for Najee Harris and OBJ. Already have Schultz. W. Yeah, I like that trade. Robert Woods and Damian Harris for Keenan Allen. No, I wouldn't do that trade. Start Cortland Sutton or Sterling Shepard. Cortland Sutton this week. Cortland Sutton should have had a monster week, but Teddy Bridgewater missed them on a couple of throws. There was one that was he should have walked in a touchdown, but Teddy Bridgewater just barely overthrew him. And that was a long touchdown reception. That would probably have been like a 50-yard touchdown reception. Rashad Bateman or KJ Osborne. Rashad Bateman. Trade Jonathan Taylor and Julio for Aaron Jones and Sutton. Yes, I would do that. DK or Terry this week. I would go with Terry. Start Jamar Chase or Marquise Brown. Jamar Chase. Thoughts on Dearness Johnson? Like, I mean, for this week, fire him up. I don't really like him a whole lot, but fire him up this week because there's really not a whole lot else that you probably have going for you. So fire him up. Also, would you drop Damian Williams? Elijah Mitchell got dropped in my league. Should I pick him up? Yes, I would pick him up. So if you're picking, yes, I would drop Damian Williams for Elijah Mitchell. Absolutely. DK or Terry. Non-running backs to trade for. Have Zeke, Gibson, Michael Carter, Tony Pollard. So, I mean, I would be going, like I said, Elijah Mitchell, I think, is a great running back in non-standard or in standard scoring to target right now. He already had his bye week, Elijah Mitchell. Jeff Wilson's not going to come back until late November, it seems like, if he comes back this season. I'd imagine he's going to come back, but I think at that point, Elijah Mitchell could definitely just have the job to himself. Trey Sermon played 2 snaps last week. He's clearly the number 1 guy in this backfield. I think Elijah Mitchell in standard scoring is a great target to try to go get right now. And I don't think his value is that high. His value is going to be a little bit high this week because, once again, this week is terrible. It's terrible. And he's going to be started just because there might not be anybody else. But he's definitely somebody I would try to heavily target. Mac Jones or Carr? Carr for me. Drop or keep Deshaun Watson? I mean, I would have dropped him a long time ago. Drop him. Do you think that Latavius Murray is a good guy to start, or is there another running back that may be better? Well, it depends on who else is there. But, I mean, if he plays this week, I think he's a decent start for this week. Gibson and Thielen for DJ Moore? Yeah, I would do that. I would do that trade. Trade Waller and Aaron Jones for Kelsey and Jefferson. Trade Waller and Aaron Jones for Kelsey and Jefferson. No, I wouldn't do that personally. I wouldn't do that. Felton or Dearness? I would go with Dearness Johnson this week. DK or DJ Moore? DJ Moore. Start Fant or Pitts? I would go with Pitts. Thoughts on Landry? Hey, I would pick him up. Rashad Bateman, Brandon Ayuk. Rashad Bateman for me. Is Ryan top waiver QB this week? Honestly, I'd rather have Tua this week or Derek Carr if they're available. Hubbard or Dearness Johnson? Hubbard. Need 3 wide receivers in flex. Bateman, Peoples, Patrick, Mooney, St. Brown, Gage. So I would go with Bateman. I would go with Patrick. I would go with St. Brown and Peoples. What to do with CEH? Keep him, I guess. Like, there's not a whole lot that you could probably do with him right now. A.J. Brown or Woods? A.J. Brown. Trade Emmons for Galladay? No, I would want Emmons. Should I do A.J. Brown, Latavius Murray, Tyler Boyd, 4 Miles Sanders, and Claypool? No, honestly, I would just keep A.J. Brown. Is Damien Williams worth holding on my bench? I mean, it depends on like who you would drop him for. But I think that he's still worth holding on to, like unless you're dropping him for a piece that you're going to play this week. Pick one up off of waivers. Felton or James Conner? For me, James Conner. Not even a question, James Conner. Should I try to trade Antonio Gibson and another piece for Saquon? I'm 3-3. Yes, I would do that. Is Khalil Herbert still worth a spot in the lineup? It depends on your other options. I have Elijah Mitchell and Henry. Should I try to trade Gibson or sit till he gets better? I would try to trade him. Yes. Which 2 do I start? Chase, AB, Ridley, or Corey Davis? I would go with Chase and Ridley. Patterson or Dearness? Patterson. I would go with Patterson. And if you haven't already, if you're on YouTube, make sure you hit that like and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And if you're over on TikTok right now, come on over to YouTube. It's not as busy. Get your questions answered. All you got to do is click on my profile. Go to my description. In my description, you're going to see the link tree. Link tree will take you over to Facebook, or will take you over to YouTube. So click on my profile, description. You'll see the link tree. Link tree will take you over to YouTube. And if you're over on YouTube right now or on TikTok, down in the description, sign up with BetUS today. Deposit $50. Get 125% deposit match bonus. If you're a first-time depositor, first time signing up on the site, they have a sports book. They have your casino. So if you're going to do some gambling and you need a new site to get that deposit match bonus, BetUS, down in the description. You also see Stream Elements talking about it. And if I'm not answering your question, I'm trying to get to all the questions. You can become a member. The members get priority in chat. They get a little green name, like you can see Ozai right there. He also has a little emblem next to his name, a little badge. You can get that. You get priority in chat. I go to your question first all the time. Also, super chats are available, and there's different tiers for the membership. You can unlock different things, all that kind of stuff. So with that being said, let's get back to it. Ozai, pick up Gesicki or Goddard off of waivers. Personally, I want Gesicki. I would pick up both of them, and I would try to trade one of them. I like both those guys for season long. Collins or Mitchell? For me, Mitchell. Start Cordell or Chuba. If it's PPR, give me Cordell. Otherwise, Chuba Hubbard. Should I drop Judy, buys, or hurting this week? Oh, that's tough. If you have to, like, I would try to drop somebody else. I really would, because Judy's so close to coming back. Renfrow or DJ Moore? DJ Moore. Thoughts on James Conner? I like him this week. How do you rank DJ Moore the rest of the season? I think DJ Moore is a top 10 wide receiver for the rest of the season. I traded Eckler and DJ Moore for AK-41, Mixon, and Godwin. I think that's a solid trade. I like that trade. Is Ryan, Gropp, Mayfield, Winston, Goff? I would go with Ryan out of all those guys. Yeah, I would go with Matt Ryan. Should I trade DK and Terry for Michael Pittman, Darrell Williams, Michael Carter, and CEH? I wouldn't do that, no. What do you think about Fournette? I like him. I like him this week, and I like him season long. Second time here already. Told all the Raider homies about your page. Hey, Raiders. Hey, Raiders proved me wrong this weekend. The Raiders look legit, man. The Raiders do look legit. They beat up on my Steelers. They beat up on Denver this weekend. Raiders look good. Derek Carr looks good. Derek Carr really does look good. And I appreciate you. Should I drop Denver's D or Dallas's defense to pick up Arizona? Well, with Dallas on bye, I would personally just drop them. Do I drop Julio Jones and pick up DJ Moore? DJ Moore's on waivers? Absolutely pick up DJ Moore. Saints D or Patriots rest of the season. I mean, I'm just playing matchups. Right now, I really like both their matchups this upcoming week. I probably would just roll with rest of the season. I probably just roll with the Saints because they've already had their bye week. Should I drop Khalil Herbert or Rashad Bateman for J.D. McKissic? I'd hate to say it, but I would probably drop Khalil Herbert for J.D. McKissic for the rest of the season. Yes. Should I trade Mike Williams for CD? I would want CD. Yeah. Do I drop Julio Jones and pick up DJ Moore? Absolutely. What are your thoughts on T. Higgins? I think that T. Higgins is going to get more involved. I mean, he was tied with Jamar in targets. Jamar is like this deep threat, but I think that T. Higgins will be used around the red zone. I think that T. Higgins is a good buy low candidate right now at the wide receiver position. Do I start 2 over Rodgers? No, I would still go with Rodgers. Rank these wide receivers: McLaurin, AJ Brown, Keenan Allen, Ridley. So I have Ridley. It goes Ridley. What was it? Ridley, AJ Brown, Keenan Allen. I got to look at this real quick. So I have Ridley, and then I want to say AJ Brown. Yeah, no, what was it? McLaurin. I have Ridley. I'm going to change that right now, actually. I want AJ Brown over McLaurin this week. All right. So I would go Ridley. Well, okay, this is season long. Ridley, AJ Brown, McLaurin, Keenan Allen. What are your thoughts on T. Higgins buy low? Julio or Mike Davis? For me, Mike Davis. I don't think Julio is going to play this week. I trade Gibson for Fournette. Hey, that's really not that bad, to be honest with you. Should I trade Mike Davis and Robert Woods for DJ Moore? My other running backs are Najee and Edmonds. Should I trade Mike Davis and Robert Woods for DJ Moore? Yeah, I would do that. CD or DJ Moore rest of the season? CD. Buy Apocalypse has taken out my wide receiver core. Thoughts on starting T.Y. and Cordell Patterson? Do I drop Collins or my backup tight end for a waiver target to fill in the spot? So I'm okay with starting T.Y. as long as he plays this week in Cordell. It just depends on your other options, who's on waivers, Megan. But I wouldn't drop Collins. I'd rather drop your backup tight end, whoever that may be. Is it time to trade DeAndre Hopkins? No, I don't think so. Drop Bateman for Goddard? I really would not want to drop Bateman right now. There's nobody else, Johnny, to drop. Drop Zach Moss. No, I wouldn't drop Zach Moss. Should I trade Beasley for McKissic? Yeah, I would probably do that. I would honestly do that. Cardinals or Colts defense rest of the season? Personally, I would go with Colts defense rest of the season just because they get, Houston, they get Jacksonville. I mean, Tennessee, I know that they look decent Monday night, but yeah. Mike Davis or Devante Smith? Mike Davis or Devante Smith? This week, Mike Davis. I traded Amari Cooper and Higbee for Noah Fant and Josh Jacobs. I think that's all right. Should I trade DK for Patterson? I wouldn't, no. I traded Hawkinson, Edmonds, and Packers D for Cortland Sutton, Corey Davis, Darrell Williams, and Myles Gaskin. I have Pitts at tight end, W or L. I'd rather keep the Edmonds side personally. Should I sell high on Josh Jacobs? They might use Drake a lot. I would keep him. The Browns offense is filled with these injuries. Their quarterback, shoulder effed up for their defense. Is Jarvis still a consistent threat? So it just depends on who else you'd be getting for Jarvis, but I still think that he's somebody that I don't mind keeping on my roster. Unless you need to get rid of somebody, get rid of him for somebody that you would be starting this week, then go for it. DJ Moore, Ridley for rest of the season. I would still go with Ridley there. Burrow, Tannehill, or Carr rest of the season. Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr looks really good right now. I acquired CMC for Gibson and Woods. Was that bad? CMC for Gibson? No, I don't think that. If you're getting CMC, I think that's decent. I trade Shenault and DJ Moore. Wait, Shenault Moore. Which Moore? For Josh? DJ Moore? I wouldn't do that. I gave up Gaskin and Lamb for Chubb and Robinson. I have AJ AB, and Hill. I gave up Gaskin and Lamb. I probably wouldn't have done that trade, honestly. I probably wouldn't have done that trade. You think I should make this trade? I give up Allen Robinson. I give up Adam Thielen, Cordell Patterson, Alex Collins, for Stephon Diggs, and Aaron Jones. I mean, I want the Stephon Diggs side, definitely. I want that side 100%. Is Devante Booker a reliable RB because I have Najee on a bye and CMC injured and have Andrew? Yeah, no, I think he's a top 20 play at the running back position this week. Debo or DJ Moore rest of the season. For me, I'd rather go with DJ Moore personally. It's really close between those two, though. Drop Julio for Mooney or AJ Green. I would pick up AJ Green. Start him this week. Who should I drop out of these three? Moss, Tony, and Schultz. Okay, I wouldn't drop Julio unless you're playing one of those guys this week. I don't think Julio's going to play this week. Who should I drop out of these three? Moss, Tony, Schultz. Tony. I think he's going to be out for a couple of weeks here. Let's see. I traded Waddle for Pollard. Thoughts? Needed RB help. What's Pollard going to do for you, though? Like, I don't envision Pollard doing much for you. I'd rather have Waddle. Trade Kelsey for James Robinson and Pitts. Yeah, I would absolutely. If I'm getting James Robinson's side, absolutely. Pick 2 for flex. Robert Woods, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Darren Waller. For me, T. Higgins, I would honestly go with, I would go with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Actually, I'd probably go with Jamar Chase and Darren Waller. But you think Stephon Diggs still has this thing with Emmanuel Sanders? No, I think that Stephon Diggs is done. I think that this passing offense is so good. I would still go with Stephon Diggs. You really like Gaskin and Lamb more than Chubb? I like Lamb, yeah, and Chubb could be out for a couple more weeks, honestly. The calf issue is something that's been lingering all season long. Like, this isn't just, he got hurt one week and he missed the next week. Like, this could be an issue that kind of lingers on for the season, to be honest with you. And I know that they're sitting him right now, but I do think that they play. What's their schedule look like? So they play when is their bye week? They have a while till a bye week. Oof. That's not going to be good. That's not going to be good, honestly. I think it's easy. I think this is an easy, but would you pick up Tony for Bateman, Tim Patrick, or Renfro? Or would you drop Tony? I would drop him for Bateman, personally. I think that Bateman has the best long season value there. Trade Hopkins for Patterson and Hubbard. No, I honestly would just keep Hopkins personally. AJ Brown thoughts. Hey, if you didn't buy low, missed your chance. 8 total waiver claims, 4 on each team. This week is rough. This week is rough. It's very bad. Which running back could I? And really, the waiver, like, this week is bad in terms of your bye weeks and injuries, and really the waiver isn't very good either. There's really not that many good people on waiver this week. So it's not a good week. I really, and a lot of people have laughed at me because I've said this, but I really would be. It depends on who's available, okay? Obviously, like, J.D. McKissick is available in over 50% of your league, so if J.D. McKissick is available, that's the guy that I'm targeting the most. There's 2 guys that I absolutely want for a season long right now. The first one's Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman came back. This is his first game, really the first time he's really playing with Lamar Jackson, even over the summer, because Lamar Jackson was hurt. When Rashad Bateman was practicing, there was a little bit of time, I believe, that they practiced together over the summer. But first time that they played, and he already led the teams in targets, right? So Rashad Bateman, I think there's a tremendous amount of upside there with Rashad Bateman. And right now you have this Baltimore team is actually passing the ball more than they have at any point during Lamar Jackson's time here. So big plus there. Also, people laugh at this, but Rashad Bateman for me. I think that, or not Rashad Bateman, Rashad Penny. I think Rashad Penny has a lot of value for season long because, yes, I get it. He's a player that's been banged up. But once again, they're going to give Rashad Penny as many chances as they can give him because he's a first-round draft pick. And they hate to say that they're wrong about the first-round draft pick. Try to give him as many chances. He's shown little small glimpses in the past. He'll probably end up getting hurt again. But I think that there's a lot of value for him season long if he can stay healthy because I really am concerned. I'm really concerned about Chris Carson coming back this season with the neck issue. What do you think Damian Williams will do back this week? I'm not expecting a whole lot. It's a tough matchup, so honestly, I don't really like Damien Williams, and I really don't like Khalil Herbert a whole lot this week. Best running backs off waiver. So guys that you should be targeting, I think, once again, Rashad Penny, unless like Alex Collins is there. Alex Collins, if he's still somehow there. J.D. McKissick. Jared Patterson, I think, is another guy that you could be targeting right now. An interesting guy that I think is good to stash is going to be Ronald Jones. Maybe one of these teams trade for Ronald Jones. I think that he's an interesting player to stash. The Devante Freeman, another guy. It's ugly. You still think Diggs has good value? Yes, I still think that Diggs has good value. Personally, I think he's going to be okay. Who should I trade Gibson and another piece for? I mean, I would be trying to target guys like Edmonds, Sanders, Elijah Mitchell. Those are guys that I would be trying to target. Should I drop Julio for Mike Davis? Absolutely do that. Yes, do that. Should I drop Kenny G and Mecole Hardman and Sony Michel? I'm getting a lot of good players from trade. Yeah. Only one. I mean, those guys can be dropped. I mean, yeah, I think those are droppable players. Ryan, I'm playing in a Dynasty QB Superflex. Thoughts on hunting down a good trade for Dobbins after the injury? I'm playing in a Dynasty QB Superflex. Thoughts on hunting down a good trade for Dobbins after the... Like, you're trying to get Dobbins after the injury? I mean, you could, but I mean, I would try. Like, it depends. Like, it's really hard for me to say, should you do this trade or not, because I don't know, like, the team makeup and everything, all the players on your team, or what exactly the team would be. But I do think that he would be a player that the value is not a whole lot. Like, his value is not very high because he's not playing for this season, right? So you could probably get him for a decent amount for a player that should be back next year. Hey, Saklan, welcome to the starter. Oh, Saklan renewed his membership. Hey, 2 months. 2 months for Saklan. I upped my membership. Oh, he went to starter. Saklan. Yo, what up, Saklan? Now he's a starter. Hey, how's it doing, Saklan? And I ate some, what did I eat today? I gotta think of what I ate today. I know I had a Chipotle. I know that. I had a burrito from Chipotle. Absolutely delicious. But I forget what I had for lunch. I can't remember. Some potatoes, I think eggs or something like that. What you have for lunch? What you eat today, Saklan? All right. And real quick, I'm gonna fire off all these questions here in a minute. So I just want to do a quick plug. If you're on YouTube right now, click that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. And you just saw Saklan. Big shout out to Saklan. He's now a starter. You see him. You see Ozai. They have these green name tags. They also have a badge next to them. They get priority in chat. So priority in chat, if you want your questions answered, that's the best way to get your questions answered. Also, Super Chat's available if you don't want to do like a monthly thing. But Super Chat's available. Just, say your name or deposit whatever kind of money you want. Whatever you want. You get your questions answered. Whenever I see a Super Chat up, I go to them as first. But also members get priority chat. And once again, if you haven't already, like, subscribe. And if you're on TikTok, come on over to YouTube. It's not as busy. Get your questions answered. All you got to do is click on my profile, go to the link tree. The link tree will take you over to the YouTube channel. So come on over. Not as busy. Get your questions answered. All right. So it is now. If you guys ever watch Red Zone, and on Red Zone they have the witching hour where they put up like all the all the scores that are like within one score, right? All right, so that's what we're gonna call this. We're gonna call it the questioning hour, okay? And now I'm gonna go in rapid fire and start booming off these questions. All right, let's get it. All right, dropping game ball for Jarvis looks good. I sent DK for CMC. Should I do it? Yes. Brandon Cooks, DJ Moore, Sterling Shepard, Jalen Waddle. Pick 2 out of these week, please. Brandon Cooks for me, DJ Moore. Rest of the season, Gibson, Saquon, Fournette. Saquon. Kittle and Mike Davis for Robinson. James Robinson? Yeah, I would do that. Should I start Alex Collins at flex? Depends on your other options. Add and stash Elijah Mitchell, Rashad Bateman, Elijah Mitchell for me. Thoughts on Tim Patrick this week? I like Tim Patrick. I mean, it depends on your other options, but I definitely think he's startable this week. Traded DJ Moore and Kittle for Najee. I like that trade. Thanks for subscribing. Appreciate you. Dearness Johnson or Damian Williams off of the waivers. I would go with, honestly, Dearness Johnson this week. Tim Patrick or Jacoby Myers. I would go with Jacoby Myers this week. I already got that one. Do I start Elijah Mitchell? Depends on your other options, but I think he's startable this week. Absolutely. He's a top 15 running back for me. Start Ayuk, Alex Collins, or Jarvis Landry. For me, I would go, as long as Alex Collins is playing, I would go with him. Where would you rank Darrell Henderson rest of the season? Absolutely a top 10 back. I would say like a top 8 back. Clan, I am dropping Vikings defense for Cardinals defense against the Texans. Should I pick up Nick Folk or Mason Crosby this week? This week, I believe I have Nick Folk. I have Nick Folk higher, so I would go with Nick Folk this week. And yes, I would do that defense. Yes, the drop. Thielen or Evans. This week I would go, well, Thielen doesn't play this week, so Evans. Unless you're saying season long, I would still go with Evans. Do you think Saquon will be traded? No, I don't think so. Would you start T. Higgins or Rashad Bateman? For me, T. Higgins. Should I drop Khalil Herbert for Dearness Johnson this week? Honestly, I would just roll with Khalil Herbert personally. I wouldn't drop him because I think that there's longer-term value there for Khalil Herbert than Dearness Johnson. Dearness Johnson, Booker, Edmonds. For me, Edmonds. Higgins, my backup, but we'll need tight end next week. Mine's on bye. Available wide receivers, Myers, Waddle, Kirk, Shepard, and A-Rob. So I would go with, I got to look at, I don't know who's on bye next week. Week 8 bye. Who's on bye? Okay, so the Ravens, only 2 teams. So the Raiders and Ravens. Out of all those, Megan, I would pick up Sterling Shepard then. I would want Sterling Shepard. Pick 3, AB, Pittman, Myers, A-Rob. I would go with AB, Pittman, Myers right now. Which 2 should I package for Barkley? Mitchell, Davis, Collins, Damian Williams, Darrell Williams. My other running backs are Henderson and Monty on IR. I mean, I would try to, it's going to be tough. I would probably just do, I would start at the lower end personally, but you're probably going to have to send, if they're even going to do it, is going to be Elijah Mitchell, Mike Davis. But you're going to have to send out multiple offers. I don't even know if they're going to do it. Who should I package? OBJ and Corey Davis for? I already got C, D, and DJ Moore. I mean, it's really hard for me to say who you should package them for. But I would be trying to trade for try to get Chase Edmonds or one of the guys I've already mentioned, Elijah Mitchell. Need a streamable QB this week. So streamable options at the quarterback position, I would say are Tua, should be available in a decent amount of leagues this week. Carson Wentz, once again, I think he's an okay option. Daniel Jones is probably going to be dropped. I think that he's going to be a good streaming option this week. Have to drop one. Cohen, Sermon, or Latavius Murray. I would definitely drop Tariq Cohen at this point. Gave up Justin Jefferson, Antonio Gibson for James Robinson, Robert Woods, W. I like that trade, yes. What are your thoughts on T. Higgins? I think he bounces back this week. I like T. Higgins. Who are you looking... Ooh, I'm probably late there. Ooh, I was down quite a bit. Start 3. We got Mixon, Collins, Michael Carter, Hubbard, and that's standard scoring. So I would go with Mixon, Hubbard, and Collins, Seclan. Should I start Devante Smith or Corey Davis this week? For me, Devante Smith. What running back is best to pick up from the Browns? Me personally, Dearness Johnson. I would pick him up. Keenan Allen and Chase Claypool or Herbert, McLaurin, and Laviska side? I would want I'm assuming, who is that? Khalil Herbert? Is that Khalil Herbert or Justin Herbert? If it's Khalil Herbert, I would go with the Chase Claypool, Keenan Allen side. Shepard over Waddle this week. Bateman also available. Note, all my receivers come back next week. So for this week, I do believe that I have... Okay, so if it's only this week and not season long, Jalen Waddle is higher for me. So I would go with Jalen Waddle this week, Megan. Is Ayuk droppable? Yeah. I mean, it depends on who you're picking up, but yeah. Is Dan Arnold a good backup tight end option? Hey, I like Dan Arnold. He didn't do a whole lot this weekend, but I still think that he's viable season long. Shepard or Ayuk? For me, I would go this week, Shepard. I mean, season long, Shepard. Gibson, Najee, Claypool for Dak, Saquon, DJ Moore sound like a good trade. Yeah, I think that's a good trade. Rest of the season on Saquon, I think that Saquon's I would say that Saquon is like a top 7 running back. He was top 7, I would say top 7 running back. Is Chubb playing this week? No, he's officially ruled out. Justin Herbert in that trade? Okay, I would want the Justin Herbert side. Renfro, Boyd, or Alex Collins? Alex Collins if he plays, if not, Renfro. J.D. McKissick is available, but I got who? Well, claim him, see, hopefully it works out. J.D. McKissick or D. Johnson this week? McKissick. Brandon Cooks or Tyler Lockett? Also, I would go with Brandon Cooks. Also, Rodgers or Stafford? Stafford. Your top 5 running backs? My top 5 running backs for this week. Let me see. Where my running back ranking? Top 5 running backs. Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, Aaron Jones, Darrell Henderson, DeAndre Swift. Those are my top 5 running backs this week. Should I trade DK and Terry for Aaron Jones or no? Yes, I would do that. Is Chubb still hurt? Yes, he's out this week. Thoughts on D-Hop? Hey, I mean, D-Hop's not seeing ridiculous targets, but he's still scoring touchdowns. He's a threat to score a touchdown every single game on one of the league's best offense. I'm not going to try to trade him right now. I just keep him. Elijah Mitchell or D. Johnson? Elijah Mitchell for me. Hey, we got Wyatt becoming a member of the practice squad. Let's go, Wyatt. Hey, would you drop Elijah Mitchell for McKissick or keep Mitchell? No, I would keep Mitchell. Personally, I would keep Mitchell. And Wyatt, W's in chat for Wyatt. Hey, W's for Wyatt Williams. WW. And also a W for becoming a member of the Aspire Sports team. Everybody's a member here, but he is officially a true member. He's now a practice squad member. Shout out to Elijah Mitchell. And once again, the best way to get your questions answered is becoming a member, and also Super Chat's available. That's the best way to get your questions answered. As you can see, Ozai, Saklan, these guys are, they're getting their questions answered right away. Saklan, I didn't see your other one. Who are your top 3 defenses and kickers this week? All right, my top 3 defenses are Arizona, Los Angeles, and the New England Patriots. My top 3 kickers are Justin Tucker, Matt Gay, and Matt Prater. Those are my top 3 defenses and top 3 kickers. I've been trying to join the past couple of lives. Finally worked. Hey, let's get it. Let's get it. Browns, Chiefs, or Colts defense this week? For me, Colts. Actually, no. Let me double check that. It might be the Browns defense. Defensive rankings. Yes, Cleveland's higher for me. Cleveland this week. Do you do sports betting? Yes, I do. I'm honestly, what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start, I don't want to say I'm not the best when it comes to sports betting, to be completely honest with you. I do sports betting, but what I want to do is start putting more time aside for sports betting and really looking at, your DFS and becoming a better player, especially in terms of DFS, and being a better, source for people, a better resource for people in terms of DFS, and finding value plays and that kind of stuff. And also in terms of sports betting as well, looking for good player props throughout the week, sifting through it all, looking at the best lines of the week, the best teams to play. So I'm going to start putting a little bit more of an emphasis on sports betting, but still fantasy for me is going to come first. Who are some players that automatically come to your mind that will be on most playoff and championships roster? I think at this rate, it will be a backup running back who are now the lead RBs due to injuries. So, I mean, a couple players that definitely come to mind are Cooper Kupp. I think he's going to be a big one. I honestly think that Jalen Hurts is going to be another one because of where he was drafted. Mike Williams, if he gets healthier, Mike Williams will definitely be up there as well. And then you're going to probably have running backs. Honestly, you're going to have Derrick Henry. He's going to be another one. Ezekiel Elliott, he's probably going to be another guy as well. Like, players like that are going to be big members on championship teams. Also, you're going to have your backup running backs as well. Hey, Optimize. Let's get it, baby. Optimize now starter. Hey, shout out to Optimize and W in chat for Optimize. What's up? One of the OGs. One of the first people to join the Aspire Sports team. One of my mods. Now becoming a member. Appreciate you, Optimize. Big shout out to Optimize. Rest of the season rankings on Fournette. Fournette for me is a top 20 running back for the rest of the season. Pick 2 in Corey Bateman, OBJ. I would go with Corey Davis and Bateman. Carr, Darnold. For me, I would go with Carr, Darnold. I have Carr higher. Looks like I set off a membership train. Hey, there we go. Hey, you did, Seclan. You did. Hey, shout out to Seclan. Shout out to everybody that's a member. And everybody that's still hanging out with me in chat. Appreciate every single one of you. Also, I'm going to end the TikTok stream and go live here again on TikTok in a minute. Got to reset it. Brandon or Terry? Optimize. You do get your little icon though. Okay, so I will be able to differentiate that. So with the icon, also I know your name, so I'll just jump to you right away. I believe in Aspire Sports. Appreciate you. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, I got to go to, I'm going to pull up the live again on TikTok real quick. If people go live on TikTok, make sure you reset your TikTok lives 30 minutes if you're going to go longer than 30 minutes. Thoughts on T.Y. Hilton? I think that T.Y. Hilton's okay. As long as he's okay, healthy. Brandon or Terry? For me, honestly, this week I would go with Terry. What about DK and Terry for Henderson? I would want the Henderson side, yes. What's the outlook for Waddle for rest of the season? For me, Waddle's more like a top, I would say more of a top 35 wide receiver for rest of the season. Need a quarterback. Do I drop Boyd, Bateman, or Tony? I would drop, honestly, Boyd right now. Landry, Bateman, Callaway, Robbie, pick 2. I would go with, this week I would go with Bateman and Robbie. Thoughts of starting New England's defense? I like New England's defense this week. Would I be better off trading Boyd and Michael Thomas for Jamar Chase, or cutting Boyd for Devante Parker and then trading Devante plus Thomas? I would do Boyd. So I would trade Boyd and Michael Thomas. Wait. So what are you doing exactly? So are you getting Jamar Chase optimized, or you're trading him away? I think you're getting him, right? So I would trade Boyd and Michael Thomas and then pick up Devante Parker is what I would try to do. If you're able to do that. I am now 3-3 and number 3 in points scored, and I was 11th and number 8 in scoring. My season is turning around. I also have the most acquisitions off of waivers, so I've been playing the waivers really hard. Hey, that's what it's about. That's what it's about. You don't win your season on draft night. Okay, you don't win your season on draft night. You got to manage your team, get better each and every single week. That's what it's about. It's a long grind. Hey, Tyler, I picked up Jamar Chase and Gesicki and dropped Kittle and Ridley. I have Cooks. Oh, my gosh. How are you able to drop these people? I probably would have kept Ridley still, but, that's okay, I guess. What do you think of A.J. Brown rest of the season? I like A.J. Brown. I was saying it, I just think that A.J. Brown's way too talented. There's been, 2 years now of production from A.J. Brown for him not to turn it around, and he definitely turned it around. Drop Khalil Herbert for Bateman, 10-team PPR. I probably would. I probably would do that. Man, I'm not going to lie. I've come to your live stream for help, and I've never needed this much help. It's been a rough week. This week is going to be really rough. I won't lie to you. This week is really rough. This week is incredibly rough. Devontae Smith, Elijah Mitchell, Waddle, or Damian Williams? Only one. I would go with Elijah Mitchell this week. Just traded Mike Williams and Najee for JT and DJ Moore. Thoughts? I probably would have kept Najee, but I don't think it's that bad of a trade, honestly. I think it's a decent trade. Should I pick up Dearness Johnson or J.D. McKissick? J.D. McKissick. Did I win this trade? I got CMC, Brandon Cooks, Gronk, and Judy for Jonathan Taylor. Yeah, I think that you won that trade. I would want your side, absolutely. Is A.J. Brown officially back? A.J. Brown is officially back, baby. Thielen rest of the season, I think that Thielen, is still a top 20 wide receiver. He bounced back this week, had a really good week, and a tougher matchup, so I think he's solid. Should I start Chris Godwin or Jamar Chase? Jamar Chase for me. Is it bad that Darrell Williams is my RB2? Not right now, no. I mean, right now he's the top 10 running back for me this week. Hey, Bernie J. Hey, Tyler. Hey, appreciate no, it's Beanie. Beanie. I'm sorry. I think it's Beanie. Beanie. Yes, Beanie J. Sorry about that. Hey, Tyler, and appreciate the $2 donation. Hold or keep Allen Robinson. So, it depends on what you're doing with Allen Robinson. I think that this passing offense is just a low-volume passing attack offense. I really don't like the passing game here. They clearly want to be able to run the football. Just keep it out of Justin Fields' hands as much as possible and just run the football really well. And they're actually doing a really good job at running the football. But with that being said, Allen Robinson should have had a pretty good game. Justin Fields missed him on a wide-open touchdown. He should have had, honestly, like a 60-yard touchdown reception. So I would keep him unless you're dropping him for like a top-tier pickup this week, like a J.D. McKissick. Then I would just probably keep him, is what I would do. And appreciate the $2 donation as well. Should I keep Gibson should I trade Gibson for CEH? I get CEH. I'd rather just keep rolling the dice on Gibson at that point. I would probably do that, honestly. Who's a better trade target to get rid of Waller? I'm thinking Robinson. I mean, if you can get Robinson, absolutely. Will Michael Gallup be tradable? Probably not. I would just hang on to Michael Gallup. I think that when he comes back, he's going to be solid. Is Felton to start this week? I had Hunt. I don't really like him a whole lot this week, but if you're so desperate, hey, fire him up. Alex Collins or Josh Jacobs to start for me? Josh Jacobs. Can you give us some updates on Alex Collins? I have him on my team and not sure if I should drop Tyson Williams for Rashad Penny. Penny had 3 years to be, so I don't know if he's worth it. I would drop Tyson Williams. I just don't think that Tyson Williams is really worth rostering. I know that in my trade video or in my waiver wire video, I said something about him hanging on in case he gets traded. I think that's, it could happen. But I'd rather have Rashad Penny. I think that Rashad Penny, I know that he's had years now to show that he's worth something, but you have Chris Carson. He might be out for season, honestly. Like, Chris Carson might be done for the season. He could definitely come back, but there's no timetable. It's a neck injury, and it's a neck. Like, that's nothing to really joke around about. And he obviously wasn't right because they weren't giving him his normal workload, okay? So you have Alex Collins now banged up a little bit as well. I think that, I've said this, I think that this team is going to give Rashad Penny a lot of chances. I really do think that they're going to give Rashad Penny a lot of chances because he was a first-round draft pick. They don't want to fully admit that they were wrong yet with him, but obviously they're wrong. And it's not because Rashad Penny was bad. It's just he's been banged up. Like, he hasn't played. So if he can finally be healthy for a stretch here, I think that there's talent, and he's showcased talent before. I really think that there's real talent, so I would drop Tyson Williams. Honestly, not sure what happened to Tyson after he scored yeah, right? Well, they just don't trust him. I think it's a weird situation. You can't tell me that Devante Freeman, Latavius Murray, and Le'Veon Bell are better options than him. You just can't. I don't care if it comes down to trust. Like, you'd rather, like, he's a young player, okay? You still play your young players. Thoughts on Godwin rest of the season? I like Godwin. I think it's gonna even itself out. Where Antonio Brown's gonna go down a little bit, where Godwin will go up. What should I do out of Parker, Gesicki, Callaway, and Pittman? So I would go with Gesicki and Parker, honestly, this week. Are Chuba and Daryl Williams both sell high? No, I would keep playing them. Unless you don't need them, then I would try to sell high. Is Sanders for Darrell Williams and Devante Parker good? I'm getting rid of Sanders. I would probably keep Sanders personally, but I do think that if you're in a spot where you need players, yeah, I think that both those guys are good plays. Is Odell droppable 10 team? I wouldn't drop Odell personally. What would be a good trade offer for CMC? It's really hard to say. Like, if you're trying to sell on CMC, I mean, I still want really good players. Should I trade? I'm sorry, Optimize. I did miss your question. I missed your question up there. It's going to take me a minute to get used to Optimize, because he doesn't have this. I wonder if I can change the color of your name, Optimize. I'll have to look into it. But let's see. Should I trade DeAndre Swift for Najee Harris? I would want Najee, yes. I think that Najee Harris is honestly a top 5 back. James Robinson versus Zach Ertz, Emmanuel Sanders, and Zach Moss. No, I would want James Robinson personally. Give me James Robinson. Is Felton to start this week? It depends on your other options. McKissick, Davis, and Hubbard start 2. For me, I would want Davis and Hubbard. Is Jamar Chase the best wide receiver for dynasty leagues? Yeah, it probably is. Yeah, I would say definitely one of the best. I don't know if he's the best. I'm trying to think. I would probably say Justin Jefferson. I'd probably rather still have over Jamar Chase. I'd probably move Jamar Chase over AJ Brown. It would probably be really close, but definitely up there for dynasty. Absolutely, one of the better ones for sure. Especially because he's going to be tied to Burrow for so long as well. So definitely up there. Absolutely. Is Rashad Penny able to play this week, or will he be activated next week? I think that they said he's going to play this week. I believe he'll be activated this week. Cup for Montgomery and Hollywood Brown. I would want the Cup side. Devante Smith, Chris Godwin, or Michael Pittman for flex this week. For me, Chris Godwin. Trade Adams for Cook. I would want Cook. Higbee, Ertz, Goddard, or Ricky Seals-Jones this week. For me, I have Goddard the highest. A-Rob and DK for Allen and Godwin. Who wins? A-Rob and DK. I would personally rather have Keenan side. And Optimize, I'm going to get to your question here in one moment. We got Joe. What's up, Joe, with the $5 donation? Appreciate it, Joe. All right. My may have to drop 2 for waivers this week. If so, what 2? We got Madison, Galladay, Mooney, and Hunter Henry. I have Hawkinson. All right. So what I would do is I would drop Hunter Henry because you're not going to play him over TJ Hawkinson. I wouldn't play him. And then the other person is personally Darnell Mooney. I know that Galladay is a little bit banged up, but I think that this offense is honestly going to be better than the Bears offense. I don't think that the Bears offense is very good in terms of their passing attack. They clearly don't really want to throw the ball a whole lot. This is more of a run-first football team. So for me, I would drop Mooney and Hunter Henry. I'm in a NFL/NBA league that lets me have an NBA player in my flex. Should I start LeBron over Mike Lennon? Tough choice. I don't know. You should ask Optimize that. Optimize is really high on Mike Lennon. I think that's Optimize, right? Optimize always talks about Nate Peterman, I think, though. Thoughts on Nick Chubb? Hey, you hold on to Nick Chubb. He's not playing this week, though. Hopefully he comes back the following week. Which side is better, Pittman and A.J. Brown or Antonio Gibson and Jerry Jeudy? Pittman and A.J. Brown for me. Thoughts on Gibson and McKissick this week? Me personally, I'd rather fire McKissick over Gibson. I have CMC, Saquon, Hunter Henry, Mixon, and Swift, but my starting wide receivers are Keenan Allen, Allen Robinson, Sterling Shepard. Who should I trade for a good wide receiver and what wide receiver? It's really hard for me to say, but I mean, definitely, I mean, it's hard to say. Those are all really good options. But I would definitely try to trade one of them. I mean, just try to trade, I would personally try to trade a guy like CMC or something and try to get a good wide receiver. I mean, it's really hard. I think those guys are really easy to trade, though. I think that you'll definitely be able to get a really good wide receiver. And what wide receiver? It's hard for me to say, but I definitely think those guys are worth top 10 wide receivers. How's your day going? Since no one is asking, hey, thanks, Josh. My day's going great. How are you doing? Start Henry or Alex Collins? Henry by a mile. Cup or Dalvin Cook? For me, I would go with Dalvin Cook. Tyler, be honest. Do you eat breakfast? I usually skip it. Honestly, I usually skip it as well. I don't eat breakfast. To be completely honest with you, no. I really don't like breakfast. I don't like waking up and eating breakfast. I don't really like breakfast food. I like eggs, but I don't really like bacon, sausage, pancakes. To me, that's just, it's not food I really like to eat, to be completely honest with you. Henderson or Fournette? Henderson. Why does Kareem Hunt suck so much? Brace yourself. 14-team PPR. Stafford, Zeke. What? Any upgrades in a 14-team league? No, that's really good. I think that lineup is really good for 14 teams. If I have just the Bills D, can I drop them this week while they're on bye for hopefully New England? Would you drop my backup tight end for my yeah, like that's fine. I would drop them for defenses are, I wouldn't say easy to stream, but you can definitely get by just streaming defenses and picking up the best defense, a good defense every single week. And so I would do that. Yes, Megan. Let's see. We got rank the Bucks wide receivers. Bucks wide receivers, I would still go. I'm still going as my early preseason predictions were Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, but I think that they're all really good. You're skipping my questions. There's a lot of questions coming in. I promise you, I'm not skipping over anybody in particular. Once again, I got my members here. They have a little badge next to their name, the little Aspire Sports symbol, and then they also have their names a different color. Those are my priority chats. So whenever I see them coming up, they get priority chats because they're paid members. So the best way to be able to get your questions answered is to be a member in the chat. Be a member in the chat, and you will 100% get your question answered every single time it is asked. Every single time it is asked, you get your questions answered. All right, so Clan, bold predictions. Hubbard is a top 5 running back. Gets 2 rushing touchdowns. Ooh. Kyler has five total touchdowns. Seahawks, I do think that they could beat the Saints, to be honest with you, although I think the Saints win. But that is one that I'm kind of looking at a little bit. Godwin in return the form with 100 yards and a touchdown. Bengals beat the Ravens. That'll be interesting. That'll be an interesting one. I'm excited for that game this weekend. I'll have some bold predictions for you, Saklam. I do officially have all my rankings done already, which is the first time. How do you become a member? Carson, so you're going to see stream elements. They're going to talk about it. You'll see the stream elements. They'll have a little thing pop up on how to become a member. Also, you can go down in the description. There's a link. You can click on the link. There's different tiers that you can get. That you unlock different things. So it's all down there. Thoughts on Flyers this season? I won't lie, okay? Flyers are my favorite hockey team, but I don't watch a whole lot of hockey. I do like hockey, and I keep saying I want to get more involved in hockey every single year, and it never happens. So I can't really say if they're going to be good or not. But it's definitely a sport that I would really like to get more into, to be completely honest with you. I really want to get more into hockey. What do you think about the Flyers this year? As a member, do I get access to your rankings? If yes, where can I find them? Where can I access them? So yes, Saklan, you are now a starter, right? If you're a starter, then I believe so. One of them, you get access to my rankings. But honestly, I'm thinking about changing that. So what I'm going to do is, honestly, today I didn't do a whole lot of work for my, I really didn't make videos today. I made a quick reactionary video to, I believe, Nick Chubb being ruled out. But I spent a lot of time, redoing a lot of shit on YouTube. And also redoing a lot of shit with the sponsor, with my affiliates and sponsors. I really want to get, so FanDuel has offered me, I'll just tell you guys what's kind of going on with FanDuel right now. So FanDuel and I are kind of going back and forth on a contract. And right now, I have a contract that's sitting there and I have to sign it. But I kind of don't want to sign it because if I sign this with FanDuel, what I have to do is basically if I do this contract, it goes for how well I do for the first 40 days. And then after that, can re-up it and go, I don't know how long I want to do it. But after the contract is over, I can't talk about any of the other sports book that they have listed there for a full year. And that's not something that I really want to do because one sports book that I really want to get in with right now is actually Barstool Sports. I'll really want to get in with Barstool Sports. So I'm reaching out to Barstool Sports to see if maybe I can be an affiliate with them right now. Because really that's what I want to do. So I've been doing a whole lot of stuff like that, and I'm going to adjust things. Kind of going back to your question, I'm going to adjust the memberships and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to be doing that. Shh, don't talk contracts. I'm not giving all the specifics, just that. Is that bad to not say that? Am I not allowed to talk about that? What are your thoughts on Dawson Knox hand injury? For me, I don't think he's going to play this week. So, hopefully it's just 1 week. They said it's going to be minor. So hopefully it's just 1 week. If Collins doesn't play, is Penny a viable play this week? Yeah, I do think so, yes. Can you rank Bateman, Ayuk, Dearness Johnson, or Penny for flex in order? Okay, so what I would do is I would go, it depends really. It really depends on what happens with Alex Collins. Okay, so first I would say out of that list I would go Dearness Johnson. Then it would be Bateman right now. Now if you have Alex Collins not play, then I would go with Penny over Bateman and probably even Penny over Dearness Johnson. But right now what I would do is I would go with Dearness Johnson, Bateman, Penny, Ayuk is what I would do. Bills are on bye. Yes, Bills are on bye. Did I say something about Bills? CD or Justin Jefferson rest of the season. Honestly, CD. So dropping Higbee for my flex. You said you like Waddle best out of my wide receiver options I gave earlier. Waddle is yes. Or one of the running backs. Mitchell, Murray, Williams, Gaskin, or McKissick. So honestly, I would go with Mitchell over Waddle though. I do like Mitchell there. Unless you just need a running back. So I would go with Mitchell over Waddle though. Traded AB for Keenan Allen. Thoughts? I think that's all right. I think it's an okay trade. Melvin Gordon, Miles Sanders, more valuable for me, Miles Sanders. Who's going to be the most valuable wide receiver on the Dolphins when Fuller and Parker get back? Waddle, Fuller, or Parker? I just think that there's a solid connection there with Waddle. So if it's full point PPR, give me Waddle. Otherwise, I honestly think it's really close between Waddle and Parker, to be honest with you. We'll see what happens with Will Fuller. It's going to be an interesting offense. Herbert for Penny. I might do that, honestly. Might do that. Let me see. And here's my reasoning, okay? Because I like I've said, I think that there's long-term value there with Rashad Penny. I really don't know if what's his face going to come back this year. Crap, forgot to mention Dearness Johnson is available. Yeah, I wouldn't pick him up, Megan. You got better options other than Dearness Johnson, personally. What Washington running back should I play this week? J.D. McKissick. What do you think I could get for Zeke? A lot. You could get a lot for Zeke. And if you don't get a lot for Zeke, don't trade him. Trade who? Trade who wins? CMC and Myers for Kupp and Brandon Cooks. Personally, I would go with Kupp and Brandon Cooks, honestly. Week 7, and these are my biggest bust candidates. Ayuk, Miles Sanders, CMC, yes. And lastly, Al Robinson. I would say that's decent, yeah. I think that's pretty fair. I think Robert Woods has been a pretty big bust. I know that he was decent last week, but I honestly think that he's been a decent bust for the season as well. Not as bad as, I think Brandon Ayuk and Allen Robinson are by far the biggest bust. By far the biggest bust this year. And finally, A.J. Brown did something to kind of get him out of that category. Do you think Myles Gaskin will continue to be inconsistent? Probably, to be honest with you. You post your rankings on Patreon, right? Yes, my rankings do go on Patreon. Patreon for my rankings, and I also post them to Discord for my members on Discord. For the members. Myers, Sanders, LaVisca, Mitchell, or McKissick for flex. Myers, Sanders, or Myers, Shepard, LaVisca, Mitchell, or McKissick for flex. So I would go with, is that Elijah Mitchell? I would go with Elijah Mitchell. Who would you trade? CMC straight up for Terry, Ridley, Jefferson? No, I would want CMC out of those guys. Waddle or AB this week? I might have AB higher. It's probably close. Yeah, I have AB one spot higher than Waddle this week. All right, and real quick, since I haven't done it lately, I'm going to go live here for about 20 more minutes. So if you're over on TikTok, come on over to YouTube. It's not as busy. All you got to do is click on my profile. My profile will take you to the link tree. The link tree will take you over to the YouTube channel. Come on over here. It's not as busy. Get your questions answered. And if you're over on YouTube right now, if you're on YouTube, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Let's get to it. T. Higgins, Rashad Bateman, or banged up Julio. T. Higgins for me. Start 3, Daryl Williams, Khalil Herbert, Chuba, Damian Harris, Devante Booker, or Bateman. So Daryl Williams for me, Chuba, and I would go with Damian Harris. Thoughts on Packers versus Washington this week? Do you think Washington defense? No, absolutely not. I think the Washington's defense looks horrible right now. They do not look nearly as good as what they were supposed to be this year. Trade D-Hop and Devante for Tyreek Hill. Yeah, I would do that. I would do that trade. CMC for Kamara and Jamar Chase. Who wins? I would want the Kamara and Jamar Chase side. Absolutely. Should I do Mixon and Debo for Devante and I have Zeke, Eckler? No, I wouldn't. I would keep Mixon and Debo personally. I just offered Michael Thomas and Terry for CMC. I would want the CMC side. Daryl Williams, I got that one. Should I pick up Jarvis Landry? Does he have any upside? I would pick him up, yes. Jerry Jeudy, Gibson for McLaurin? I would probably do that, yeah. Devante or AB this week? AB. Who is better rest of the season? Kittle or Pitts? Pitts. Should I trade away Mike Davis for Devontae Smith? My current flex options are Davis, Jacoby Myers, and Julio. Yeah, I would do that trade. Yes. My Boyd is Brandon Ayuk, or my team is Brady, Kamara, Gaskin, Tyreek, D-Hop, Terry, Waller. Should I trade for yes, I would try to trade for an RB2 personally. I just got offered Michael Thomas and Terry for CMC. Yes, I would do that. Cordell Patterson and Michael Thomas for Saquon, who wins. I would want the Saquon side. Chuba or Daryl Williams? Daryl Williams. I traded Patterson and Fournette for Kamara. Thoughts? I like the trade. Yes, I like that trade. Jerry Jeudy, I got that one. Chuba, I got that one. Devontae, I got that one. Thank you so much, Tyler. Man, going to bed so late tomorrow is going to suck at work. But I couldn't pass up watching the show. Hey, appreciate it, Megan. Thank you. Thank you for staying up late and watching me. Appreciate it. Have a good day at work tomorrow. CMC for Kamara. Thoughts? I want Kamara. He's already had his bye week now. CMC is going to be out for at least a couple more weeks. So, yeah. Does upgrading my access optimize? I don't have an OnlyFans, my guy. I have a Patreon. No, I don't have OnlyFans. Sorry. I want to upgrade that for you, buddy. Who should I trade? Kyler versus the Texans. Who should I start? Kyler? Give me Kyler. Yeah. Kyler, I believe, is like quarterback 2 for me this week, I want to say. Yeah, Kyler's quarterback 2. Although Stafford is top 5 quarterback for me this week. Who should I? No, I already got that one. Brandon Cooks and AJ Brown going crazy this week. Yeah, they are. Fire them both up, especially this week when there's not a whole lot. Tyreek or Diggs rest of the season? Tyreek for me. Have a good night, Megan. Yes, have a good night, Megan. Back to my team is with Brady. Yes. Should I trade for RB2 or use McKissick? So I mean I would use McKissick there. So if you don't really want to trade anybody, I would probably start McKissick. We'll see what happens with Antonio Gibson. If Antonio Gibson's out, like even if he doesn't practice, once again, I really don't feel that great about Antonio Gibson this week. More Allen, more Andrews and Emmanuel Sanders for Henderson and PPR. Absolutely. If I'm getting Henderson, yes, 100%. Or who should I trade? I would, like, if you can, I mean, maybe try to trade one of your wide receivers for an RB, but I don't think that, like, I would just keep what you have and just keep rolling and just play the waiver and keep picking up running backs to fill in as the RB2 because, like, your running back position becomes, as the season progresses and there becomes more injuries, there becomes more guys available that can be plug and play RB2s. I mean, just look at, you have Chuba Hubbard, right? Another guy would be Daryl Williams, has been a solid guy. You had Khalil Herbert. Like, you're going to have these guys every single week. Alex Collins. I think that soon you're going to have Rashad Penny. Like, these are going to be guys that you can plug and play and be an RB2. What should I look to improve on my team? I got Rodgers, Henderson, Edmonds, Miles Sanders, D-Hop, Keenan, Marquise Brown, and Allen Robinson. I would try to trade Marquise Brown personally. I would try to trade him in like another piece for a better second wide receiver, like a running back. Elijah Mitchell or that backup running back Johnson. Elijah Mitchell. Start Lamar or Rodgers. For me, I would go with Lamar. Stafford or Herbert for the rest of the season. Personally, I would go with that is really tough. I would go with Stafford. I'm a Cowboys fan. I got Zeke, CeeDee, and Schultz, but I'm scared that they might be sat for Week 18. Should I get off before the deadline? No, I wouldn't personally. I wouldn't worry about that right now. I will keep them. Who's the best player I could get for CMC? I mean, you could get really good, valuable players. Like I would definitely be looking for like a top 8 running back and like a top 15 wide receiver at the very least. Like you could probably even get better than that. I would say like a top 12 wide receiver for CMC. Absolutely. Trade Gaskin, Lockett, and Collins for DJ Moore. Thoughts? I think that's all right. Who would you trade Gibson for Swift? Absolutely. If I'm getting Swift, 100%. Aaron Jones or Jonathan Taylor this week? Aaron Jones for me. Aaron Jones. Should I try to trade Zeke and Jamar for Kupp and Mixon? No, I would keep Zeke and Jamar. I need to drop one of the running backs. I have Montgomery, Herbert, or Williams. Personally, I would go with Williams. Panic on D-Hop, kind of 50-50 because the cards are always up so big they don't really need to pass. That could be why. I'm not going to panic on him yet. No. Trade CMC for Diggs and J-Rob. Did I win? Yes, I like that. If you're getting the J-Rob and Diggs side, yes. Will the Lions win a game? I think I do think that they're going to win a game. They've been in some pretty like close games this year. I think that it's going to break for them on one game. Like they'll probably win one game this year, maybe 2. I do think that they'll win 1 or 2 games this year. Is Lockett and AJ Brown for McLaurin and Thielen a good trade? Is Lockett and AJ Brown for Thielen? No, I would rather have the AJ Brown side personally. Would you trade Kareem Hunt and Calvin Ridley to get Dalvin Cook? Yes, absolutely. I would do that. If I'm getting Dalvin Cook, 100%. 100%. And if you haven't already, do me a big favor. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And if you're over on TikTok, come on over to YouTube, answering the questions. Not as busy. All you got to do is click on my profile, go to the link tree. Link tree will take you over to the YouTube channel. Come on over. Get your questions answered. Also, I'm going to restart this for the last like 20 minutes here. Get it back going. All right. So I'm going to be live for about 10 more minutes here, and then I'm going to go, then I'm going to probably hop off here and go to sleep. Oh, shoot. That should say week 7. I should change that right now. I didn't notice that. I'm going to change that. Go back live on here. Build back better. All right. So, week 7. There we go. Okay. All right. There we go. My wife wants a divorce because I watched. Hey, yeah, there you go. And say, yeah, really. Tell her this is the best sports show. Optimize. I mean, what do you expect? You can't take your eyes off of the Aspire Sports Show. It's just too good. Do you approve of this trade? I trade away Derrick Henry and Cooper Kupp for Cardinals defense, but I get VIP tickets to the next Cardinals game. Oh. I don't know if I could do that, Saklan. I really don't know if I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. I traded away Marquise Brown and Gaskin for Michael Thomas. W or L? That's a big L. Saklan says that's an L. So right now, I don't feel terrible about it, but I really don't like it. You're putting a lot of risk into Michael Thomas to come back and be like the player that he was. Could he do it? Absolutely. But you have Marquise Brown and Gaskin. Especially Marquise Brown have flashed their moments, but I don't think it's bad, especially if you're in a situation where you can afford to do it. That's fine. Is Zach Moss and Cooper good for D-Hop. I'm getting Moss. I'd rather have D-Hop personally. I'd rather have D-Hop. Dog, I don't know. I have Diggs, DJ Moore, and Tyreek. Yeah, I mean, if you, Sammy, once again, if you didn't really need them, I mean, I don't think that's that bad of a trade. Trade Edmonds and Woods for Michael Carter and Jamar Chase. Or yeah, I would do that. Or Edmonds and Woods. I would rather have Ridley and Miles Sanders. I'd rather have that side, absolutely. Have Patriots. Should I trade for a different defense? No, I think that's fine, especially this year. So I'd take the risk. So I'd take that risk. Yeah, I think that's fine, Sammy. Yeah. QB. We have Brady, RB1, Najee, Gibson, Diggs, Ridley, CeeDee, Kelsey. What? How'd you get all these guys? I mean, I don't think that there's anything. I would try to. That's what I would try to do. Like, I would try to trade Gibson away because I really don't like Gibson for the rest of the season. I would try to package him and somebody else, absolutely, and try to get rid of Gibson, 100%. Guys that I would try to target would be guys like Chase Edmonds. I know that he's not that great, but really, like, I really don't like Gibson for the rest of the season. Start JT, Patterson, Henderson, or Swift. Start 3. It would be JT, Henderson, and Swift. Should I pick up Hawkinson or Howard? Absolutely Hawkinson if he's available. Hawkinson. I also traded away CMC and Cooks for Diggs and Mixon. I mean, that's tough too. I probably wouldn't have done that. I probably would have done that one, especially with CMC and his injury right now. I mean, those guys are available. Kyler plus D-Hop stack about to have 3 tutties. Hey, 3 tutties this week. You better make sure you play him in DFS then. Saquon or Swift rest of the season. You already know what I'm about to say. DeAndre Swift, baby. No, I'd probably say Saquon. Honestly, I would go with Swift. He's healthy. I'm going to go with Swift. And you know me. I love Swift. Do you think Chubb will play this week? No, he's officially been ruled out already. He's not playing. Do you think I should try to trade Zeke and Keenan for Dalvin Cook? I have CMC. Trade Zeke and Keenan for Dalvin Cook? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do that trade, no. We keep asking you about our fantasy teams, but we keep asking you about our fantasy team, but who is on your fantasy team? So, honestly, I did a pretty good, like, it's completely different than, so when you kind of, like, I'm trying to make this my profession right now, and it's actually working out pretty well, I won't lie. But when you talk about it as much as I do, you definitely have a big edge on your competition when it comes to draft day. Like, this past year, I was the most prepared I've ever been in my life, and I really crushed a lot of my drafts. I mean, every single draft is completely different. But one player I have, and I tweeted this out. I can go show you the tweet, but there's one player I had literally on every single team this year in my draft. Okay, I did like 18 drafts, like your redraft leagues, 18 redrafts, and there was one player I had, and that was DeAndre Swift. I had DeAndre Swift in 100% of my leagues, and that's definitely working out right now. DeAndre Swift has been a absolute stud. And then I've also had guys like Zeke was really low. Aaron Jones for me, I thought was a little bit low. I even had shares of Najee Harris. So I'm doing honestly pretty well right now in fantasy football. I'm banking on CMC getting hurt again. It could definitely happen. My wife's going to divorce me if I don't leave my laptop and go watch a movie with her, so I guess kicked out. No, you better get going, Siklan. Hey, I'll be live tomorrow, okay? I'll be live tomorrow. I'll be live on, Thursday as well. I'm going to go live. Usually on Thursday, I go live twice. I go live earlier in the day and then also go live later at night. Tomorrow, I'm going to be going live twice as well. I'm going to go live twice. DJ Moore and Mike Evans. For me, DJ Moore. Should I trade... Let's see. Should I trade McLaurin and Zeke for Kamara, Patterson, and Godwin? Now that I would probably do. Yes, I would do that trade. D-Hop and Devante Smith for Diggs. Worried about D-Hop's volume and on 5-1. I mean, I would probably just stick with D-Hop personally. Yeah, I would just stick with D-Hop and Devante Smith. I know that Devante Smith was not good this past weekend, but it will get better. I would go with Devante Smith. Matt Ryan or Tua For me, I would go with this week Tua. Is Dawson Knox going to be missing time? I think he's going to miss this week. Start DeAndre Swift to Chuba Hubbard. For me, DeAndre Swift. Pick 2, Marquise Brown, Calvin Ridley, Debo, A.J. Brown, and DJ Moore. For me, I would go with Calvin Ridley and DJ Moore. And if you haven't already, do me a big favor. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. If you're over on TikTok, come on over to YouTube. It's not as busy. Get your questions answered. There's only 30 people over here, and you will get your questions answered. I promise you that. All you got to do is come on over here. You click on my profile, go to the link tree. Link tree will take you over to my YouTube channel. Come on over, answer your questions. So, profile, link tree, YouTube channel. All right, so I traded Kelsey for Jonathan Taylor and TJ Hawkinson. Did I lose? No, I like that trade. For Jonathan Taylor, I would take the Jonathan Taylor side. Start DeAndre Swift or Chuba Hubbard, DeAndre Swift. Have Brady, Zeke, Kareem, D-Hop, Ridley, Higgins, Knox, and Schultz, and an 18-man. Ooh, that's a lot. Should I keep it? No, I mean, I think that's solid, but with Kareem Hunt out, I mean, if you're able to, I really highly doubt you're able to trade him, but that'd be the only thing, trying to get a better RB2 with him out. I don't know who else you have. Should I trade Kamara and Keenan for JT Moore? No, I would personally keep the Kamara side, I would keep the Kamara side. I lied to my wife and told her the first place has 50 prize and that she needs to get over it because that way I'm helping. Tyler's feeding. Thanks. I'm feeding your family with that $50 prize. Hey, there. Let's go. Start Mike Davis or Hunter Renfrow at flex. Mike Davis for me. I traded Chubb 1 week before injury. Amari Cooper, Tyler Lockett, Gaskin, Devante Smith for D-Hop, Terry, Chuba, Fant, and Galladay. Who won? I mean, right now I would have said at the time, personally, the Chubb side definitely, but I mean, the other side's definitely working out for you right now. My wife can't tell me her top 10 running backs this week. Oh my gosh, she can't? What is she doing? Does she even watch Aspire Sports Optimized? What is up with that? Is it better to keep my defense that has a bye this week and take 0 points or trade them out for another defense? Absolutely get rid of them. Don't sacrifice 0 points. Also, there's nobody on your team that you could trade or get rid of. Should I drop Julio Jones for Dearness Johnson? Please, I really need help. I mean, if you absolutely need somebody to play this week, hey, do it. Yeah. Waller, Stafford package deal for Najee Harris. Need the fantasy gods to bless me. Yeah, I would do that. Absolutely. For Najee Harris? Absolutely. Between Swift and Saquon, do I trade one of them? It would be Swift, right? I would keep Swift. I think Saquon has more value. I know he's a little bit hurt, but I just think that Saquon, people will attach themselves to that name of Saquon and want to get better players. Go Flyers. Hey, go Flyers. I'm not as big as in hockey as I am football, but I do like the Flyers. Zeke and D-Hop for Derrick Henry. No, I wouldn't do that. Should I trade Allen Robinson for Tim Patrick? Oh, that's where we're at now. I wouldn't, because Jerry Jeudy's coming back. No, I wouldn't do that. McKissick, Felton, Dearness Johnson, or Alex Collins. I would go with if Alex Collins plays. No, I would go with McKissick as long as it's PPR. If not, if Alex Collins plays, him. If not, Dearness Johnson. I just traded Dak for Jacobs. Is that good? I also have Hurts. Yeah, I think that's all right. Guys, don't spam chat. It's literally Tuesday. True. Should I sell high with Chubb? I actually would try to buy low on Chubb right now. With him being out, I would try to buy him, especially this week when you know that Chubb manager is really, really hurting to play somebody. Cook for Hill and Edmonds. Which side won? I would say the Hill side, personally. I think Edmonds is going to bounce back. There is no midnight Wednesday game. True. I have $12 fab remaining, and I'm spending $9 on the Cardinals defense and $3 in full. I will be down to 0, but I am going to secure my W's and get as many points as I can. That's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him. Do I trade A.J. Brown? Absolutely not. Keep him. Should I drop Chuba Hubbard or Daryl Williams for... No, I mean... No, you can't drop either one of those guys right now. I wouldn't drop those guys. I have Ertz or Goddard or Hunter Henry. Who are you starting? I would go with Goddard, personally. Joe Burrow or Carr, who are you starting? This week, honestly, I believe I have want to say Joe Burrow. I got to double check this. QB rankings. No, I have Derek Carr one spot higher. I would go with Derek Carr. Trade out of Jarvis for Peoples-Jones. No, I would keep in Jarvis. Trade Evans and Patterson for Adams. Dub. Yeah, I like that. Should I try and trade CMC for Derrick Henry? Absolutely, I would try to do that. I asked to drop Allen Robinson because CD is on bye, and I'm gonna have to start him. So that's where I'm at to pick up Tim Patrick. I would honestly just play. I would just rather play I would rather play Allen Robinson personally. I would just play him this week. I don't think it's that big of a difference between him and Tim Patrick, to be completely honest with you. Adam Thielen for Deontay Johnson. I would want Deontay Johnson. Jamar Chase or Calvin Ridley this week. I have Calvin Ridley higher. I haven't paid attention to the 49ers running back situation. Why is Elijah Mitchell projected to be so much? Because he's their starting running back. He's their, I don't want to say I would say bell cow running back. I want to, not so much a bell cow, but pretty dang close to bell cow running back. I mean, he played on literally like not all the snaps, but you had Trey Sermon, the other running back. You have Kyle Juszczyk playing snaps there, but he's definitely their preferred guy. Elijah Mitchell is a great buy low candidate right now. I would absolutely 100% go out and get Elijah Mitchell if you can get him. I think that even when Jeff Wilson comes back, Elijah Mitchell is going to be the guy. They love Elijah Mitchell, so go get Elijah Mitchell. I traded Robert Woods and Marvin Jones for Ridley. Like the trade. I like that trade. Gaskin, Hines, Sermon. Which two do I start? For me, Gaskin and Hines. Half-point PPR. I was offered Lockett and Myers for Keenan. I'm really scared about on this one. I have no idea. I was offered Lockett. Yeah, I would do that trade. Absolutely. I have Indian food tonight. It was bomb. Ooh, that sounds good. That sounds good, Siclan. But I had Chipotle. Hey, I love Chipotle. Chipotle is my life. Thanks for your help. You're welcome. So I have Josh Allen on bye this week, but need a quarterback off a waiver wire. Any suggestion? Like 3 guys. Okay. This is what I would do. So Tua's the first guy I would say. I like Tua's matchup. Derek Carr if he's available. I don't know if he's available in your league. But I'll give you 2 more quarterbacks just in case he's not. Jameis Winston this week. Matt Ryan, another guy. And if like none of those guys are available, Mac Jones. Like Mac Jones better be available. That's what I would do. How do I have Josh Allen, Diggs, Mark Andrews, and Tyreek Hill, and I'm still 1-5? Sometimes the fantasy gods hate you, but it's okay because it's not over yet. If you have a really good team and just really bad luck, usually it changes it around. Now, sometimes not all the time that happens, but sometimes it does. So keep grinding. Keep grinding. Can you rate my team? 12-team PPR. I got Pat Mahomes, Zeke, Najee, Johnson, Calvin Ridley, A.J. Brown. How did you get all these guys in a 12-team league? Who are you playing with that you got all those guys? Okay, let's think about it. Zeke went in the first round. Najee Harris was going in the second round. Jefferson was going in the second round. Calvin Ridley was going in the second round. A.J. Brown was going around in the second round. How did you land all those guys? I don't think it's a 12-team league, to be completely honest with you, okay? Okay? I don't think that's a 12-team league. Burrow, Tua, or Baker. I would go with Burrow. Who should I drop for Elijah Mitchell? Damian Williams, Khalil. I would just drop one of them. I would personally drop Damian Williams. Who should I get with Gibson and Keenan Allen? I mean, it's really hard for me to say who exactly, but I would definitely, I think that you could get somebody really, decent with that. I would say, a top 13 running back or so. I would even try to be going after, a top 10 running back, like a DeAndre Swift or somebody like that. Elijah Mitchell and Darren Waller for Tony and Fournette. Who wins this? I would honestly say Elijah Mitchell's side. Yo, I got a lot of buys. Which 2 do I start? Michael Carter, Devante, or Bateman? For me, I would go with Devante, and I would go with Bateman. Thanks, you're a GOAT. No, you're the GOAT. Kareem Hunt, Higgins, A.J. Brown to get Dalvin Cook? Yeah, absolutely, I would do that. Chris Godwin, or is that A.J. Brown? Absolutely, I would go with A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown this week. Traded Allen Robinson for a half-eaten burrito and I really feel like I do think that you won that trade. Rate my 16-man league. Derrick Henry, Cooper, Kupp, Austin Cooper, Alvin Kamara, Mahomes, Jonathan Taylor, Patriots defense. That's a beautiful team, Ciclan. I promise. People in my league are serious too. Wish I could send a screenshot of my team and my trades. Okay, so you've been trading. All right. Now that's good. I mean, I think that team is absolutely stacked, and you absolutely capitalized on your trades. That's a really good trade. Is Elijah Mitchell the lead back now that he is healthy? 150% yes. I would say 200% yes. It showed last week. Trey Sermon played on 2 snaps. Like, no. Did you answer this? Sorry, I didn't see it. Dearness Johnson or Booker? I don't think I answered that. I would go with Booker. Sorry, man. Oh, that's Antonio Brown or Godwin. I would go with Godwin, but it's really close. I know that Antonio Brown's been playing really good. I just think that at some point that Godwin's going to have the better week. And I hate to try to keep predicting it. I think it's going to be this week, but watch Antonio Brown go off. But it's really close between those guys. I would personally go with Chris Godwin. Should I do Aaron Jones and Pittman for Gibson and DK? No, I would keep Aaron Jones, personally. I would keep Aaron Jones. I drafted Wilson, Ayuk, Robinson. I'm 2 and 4. Hey, that's not that bad. 2 and 4 is doable. You can still get it. Guys probably did some massive trade hustling in draft chat. Yeah, I mean, W trade, little bro. I had to optimize. Absolutely picked up Matt Ryan or Joe Burrow. I would go with Joe Burrow. Who wins the Bengals or Ravens? Who wins Bengals or Ravens? I'm going to say the Ravens win. Should I trade away Hawkinson? He's not playing well. No, I would keep him. I would keep him. Which side of this trade won? Ridley and Swift for Saquon, Locke, and Dak. I would have to go. Oh, excuse me. Oh, whoa. I would have to go with the Saquon side, honestly. But it's really close. I think it's. But with Dak, like, Dak is a stud. I actually traded away Dak early in the season, and I hate myself for it. Did some really stupid trades this year. I hate myself for a majority of them. Especially in my main league. Oh, now I'm getting the hiccups. In a Dynasty League, would you trade Kamara and Hopkins for Najee? I would. Yeah, I would do that. All right. I'm getting the hiccups now, so I'm officially going to hop off here. I'm going to hop off. I'm going to be live tomorrow. I'm going to be live tomorrow. I'm going to go live in the afternoon. Dang it. Now I'm getting the hiccups. I'm going to go live in the afternoon. Then I'm also going to go live tomorrow night. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're over on TikTok, also hit the follow button. Get notified when I go live. Appreciate everybody and have a great night. Peace out, people. Peace. Dang it.